The first step is to adjust the length to custom fit your neck. Next, wrap it around your neck with one side slightly longer than the other. Now take the longer side and cross it over, then feed it through the loop.
Start by putting left over right, and the part which is now in my left hand, slide the tie around your neck until the very top of the fish sits just in front of the collar button.
Take the top end and just throw it over your
and tuck it through that gap from underneath and bring it up. And then, keeping it quite vertical, tighten the tie onto the collar button. And the part that's now hanging down again should have the body of the fish just touching the knot, and the knot should be in front of the collar button. As a precaution that you've got things right, if you bring the front part of the tie down and compare it with the back, it should be hanging distinctly lower than the back. So that's about correct. It varies slightly between ties. You don't need the front part at the moment. Usually get rid of it by putting it over your shoulder.
Now take the bottom portion and pull it over to form a bow.
Imagine a line across the body of the fish here. Hold with your left hand the tail of the fish shape and put your finger of your right hand, your index finger, across that line, but from the back, and keeping a certain amount of tension on it, lift the material up into that position with the waist part between the body and the tail in front of the collar button.
Now take the portion that was sitting on your shoulder, pull it over so that it will lie on the center of the bow.
Holding the back bow shape in position across the collar. Now bring the second part of the tie down. Make sure that it hangs down nicely here and is nice and smooth without any creases.
Now take each end of the bow and place them together and pull. It should now have a little loop.
Having got to this stage, slide the thumb in from above in the way I've showed you before, and slide it in, and it actually pushes its way right through the top of the bow. If I fold this part in my right hand over, you can see the thumb sticking through, and it's making a space which I will now need.
Now take the midsection of the bottom portion and push it through the loop about halfway.
The next move is to put a finger in front of the body of the fish that's hanging down and turn it and push, placing it on top of the thumb, push through the material through that hole. I've taken the thumb out of the way, push it through.
Now all you have to do is shape it by pulling on both ends of the bow tie.
The bit of tie which is actually touching my index finger here, that's the part that actually will show on the front. So having pushed it through until the tail is about halfway in, take your finger out and make sure that you show that part which was touching the finger to the front. So not that way, but that way is how it must be. And then transfer everything over into your right hand, and you can see there's the material that I've just tucked through, starting to come through. Pull it through with your left hand. It's a folded piece so that you can, if you want, get your fingers through there. Pull it through, not too tightly, just make sure it comes through, and that's the left side of the bow on this side of the tie at the back. So you can now fold that across. That actually is the actual tying process done, but of course the tie isn't correct because it needs to be finished. Principally it needs to be tightened. Each side has got a single piece of material and a folded piece of material. and they're on opposite sides, front and back. The folded piece is on the right at the front and on the left at the back. If you get hold of the folded pieces and pull them gently, the knot in the middle starts to tighten.